China has announced that the world's first offshore wind-powered underwater data center is now fully operational. They claim it houses 2,000 servers powered by 24 megawatts of subsea energy. But this headline misses the real story. The true breakthrough is not just placing computers underwater, but solving a critical engineering bottleneck. How do we cool heat-dense AI infrastructure when land becomes scarce and freshwater runs dry? By watching this explanation, you will understand why moving data centers to the seabed trades logistical complexity for massive thermal efficiency gains that could redefine the future of artificial intelligence. The current model of building giant data campuses on land is hitting a hard physical wall. Traditional facilities rely heavily on evaporative cooling systems and energy-intensive chillers to keep servers from melting under their own heat generation. This approach consumes vast amounts of fresh water, creating a direct conflict with agriculture and local ecosystems in water-stressed regions like California or India. The sector is projected to consume billions of cubic meters of fresh water by 2027 if current trends continue. That level of consumption is simply unsustainable for the rapid expansion required by generative AI models, which demand constant computational power. The Chinese facility attempts a radical architectural shift by treating the ocean as an infinite heat sink, rather than just a location to park hardware. By submerging 2,000 servers at a depth of 35 meters, the system leverages seawater immersion for passive cooling. This design eliminates the need for energy-intensive chillers because the surrounding water naturally absorbs heat from server components through radiators without requiring electricity-driven compression cycles. The engineering logic suggests this approach achieves a 40 to 60% efficiency gain compared to land-based equivalents by removing the power usage effectiveness penalty associated with traditional air conditioning and pumping systems. Quick resource note: I keep a curated set of Amazon search links in the description for books, gear, and tools relevant to this channel's topics. Some are affiliate links, so I may earn a commission at no extra cost to you. Please consider supporting the channel by using those links if you find something useful. Think of it as swapping an expensive refrigeration unit for a direct connection to a massive thermal reservoir that never runs out. This passive cooling allows server inlet temperatures to stay below 15 degrees Celsius even during peak summer loads, a constraint that land-based facilities struggle to meet without consuming millions of gallons of water daily or installing prohibitively expensive industrial air conditioning systems. The ocean provides near-zero thermal resistance because its mass is so vast compared to the heat output of the servers it surrounds. This fundamental shift turns the physical environment into an active component of the cooling system rather than just a background condition. However, this design introduces significant new engineering challenges that do not exist on land. Moving from terrestrial data centers to subsea nodes means accepting higher latency for maintenance and dealing with extreme corrosion risks in high salinity environments. The facility must operate at 35 meters deep specifically to maintain structural integrity against surface storms while remaining accessible for repairs via remotely operated vehicles. This depth creates a unique trade-off where the system gains thermal stability but loses the ability to quickly swap out failed hardware or perform routine maintenance without specialized subsea equipment and long deployment windows. The integration of 24 megawatts of offshore wind power adds another layer of complexity known as generation load matching. Unlike land-based grids that can stabilize fluctuations through massive battery farms or diverse energy sources, this facility relies directly on the intermittent nature of ocean winds. Without explicit data confirming large-scale battery storage at this specific site, the system must dynamically throttle compute workloads to match the availability of wind power. This requires a departure from standard cloud infrastructure models where servers are designed for always-on reliability regardless of the instantaneous energy supply. This operational constraint forces engineers to rethink how AI applications handle variable power inputs. The facility effectively becomes an asynchronous computing node that adjusts its processing speed based on real-time wind conditions rather than drawing constant power from a stable grid. If the wind stops blowing, the system must reduce computational output or switch to stored energy if available. This dynamic throttling means the data center cannot guarantee consistent peak performance at all times, which is a fundamental shift in how we think about AI service level agreements and uptime guarantees for critical applications. The decision to deploy only 2,000 servers suggests a deliberate architectural choice to prioritize density and cooling efficiency over massive scale. Rather than building monolithic land-based campuses that consume vast tracts of expensive coastal real estate, this approach favors modular subsea nodes that can be deployed in clusters as demand grows. This distributed edge architecture allows operators to add capacity incrementally by dropping additional modules into the ocean, rather than constructing new buildings on limited shoreline property. It is a response to the land-constrained nature of modern AI infrastructure where every square meter of coastal real estate commands a premium price and faces regulatory hurdles regarding environmental impact. Despite these promising engineering principles, significant knowledge gaps remain regarding long-term reliability in high salinity environments. While the theoretical efficiency gains are clear based on established thermodynamic principles, independent verification of actual energy performance ratios over extended periods is currently unavailable. The durability of 2,000 servers submerged for years without access to dry maintenance cycles remains an unproven variable that could impact scalability across the global AI boom. Until we see benchmark data confirming these trade-offs, work as intended in real-world conditions, this facility should be viewed primarily as a promising architectural proof of concept rather than a fully validated solution ready for immediate replication worldwide. The broader implication is clear. If subsea architecture can solve the water and land constraints that currently limit AI growth, it will likely become the dominant model for heat-dense computing in coastal regions within the next decade. The shift from island data centers to distributed subsea edges represents more than just a change of location. It fundamentally alters how we balance computational density against environmental impact and infrastructure costs. By accepting higher maintenance complexity and intermittent power profiles, engineers can unlock thermal efficiencies that were previously impossible on land. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I am a one-person team working hard to make each video better than the last. Subscribe if you found value. It is the best way to show support. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. See you in the next video.